Small days is still on my mind. Small days is a good time. Neighbor had some little children. I when they singing and the dancers really admire them. Small days is still on their mind. Small days is a good time.
You don't have to be a superhero to be a dad. You don't have to be loud to inspire. You don't have to be larger than life to make a positive difference in a child's life. A lot of times, we look to external forces to tell us what's right or wrong. But often, what we search for is within us. This is especially true of being a parent. Great fathers are everywhere, taking their children to school, at the playground, in your community, everywhere. From the very early moments through adolescence and beyond, super dads play a pivotal role in the lives of their children.
Being a father for the first time, I was not there until a couple of days after my first son was born. And the first thing I remember is the eye connection. We both knew, and it was as if he was asking, "Who are you?" And I was, saying, "You're my son," without much. The embrace was good. Holding him, I remember first of all being scared to lift him because I was afraid, he would fall or I would hold him wrong, etc. But from the time my wife put him properly on my chest, you felt that connection and that bond.
So my son, he is only 11 months and he's trying to say words, and you could get that audible dad coming out, and it's a really proud and exciting time, I must say. Yeah.
The things that I enjoy doing with my daughter is spending leisure time with her. We will ramp and play a lot. When I'm brushing my teeth, she brings her toothbrush, Dada, so I have to brush her teeth. We play together. The other father that I would sing to her is the echoing type. Father, Father, and then I would say to her, Jasmine, I need backing up. And then she would chime in, Father, Father.
Basically, I'm thinking about the community, the church. They can play an important part in the child growing up. The biblical aspect, right? And perhaps those fathers from different religions, I think the church, the temple, the mosque, they can play a very important part. Whichever religion you're from, can assist you, with the education that the child will need in being a child that will grow up with, with dignity. So that's how I'm thinking about, the assistance that you can get. And of course, it has the other basic things, financial and so forth, that you will need as a father.
The kind of support I would like to see is an environmental support where back in the good old days, your neighbors would help look over your kids because we cannot be there at all time because of job wise. We got to be doing something, and our children, well, I've heard one of my brother here said schooling play an important role. As much as we're trying to be perfect parents, then society got a whole lot to do with it, the kind of environment, the kind of society that they're a part of. They're exposed to things that they hear that contradicts what you're trying to teach. They tend to weigh between what you're teaching them and what they're hearing and experiment of their own because of their free will choice. So in order to compound development in our children, I think as a nation we got to be strong.
What they're singing? On your carpet, you must be like the roses, all giving bright and shining.
To know that when I enter the door, She's always there. If she's not at the door, she's hiding from me to get my attention. And that means a lot to me. Even when I do come home late, right, I am reminded, Daddy, you take long to come home. So it's good to know that my daughter expects to see me and she longs to see me.
When my wife was pregnant, I would talk to her tummy, make various songs, etc. And from a very young age, I realized I had to continue making this sound, like a cat. You know that sound? And I would make that funny song to them. And interestingly, my sons, I have 4 sons, all of them came out smiling. To quiet them when they're crying, I had to make that sound.
Right? It's like a little building project. We have blocks. So I'm showing him how to fit them in together. So he's now building his hand skills to try to put those together. And that is what we are working on currently. And this is a nightly occurrence. He knows that's the blocks. We gotta go, we gotta do this. And I even have this sing-along book. And now he's clapping his hands and, going to the little rhythm.
Sometimes when you're not a father, the thought of becoming a father, there's a side of it where it comes with the seriousness, the responsibility, the commitment to it. And some people might say that, that's just a part that you could think about alone. But on a whole, as a father, there's that part, and then there's a part whereby it gives you the excited feeling, the loving feeling, there's so much like emotions together in it. And so for me, that's putting all those together is what makes fatherhood such a wonderful thing to be a part of.
Embrace the role of being a father, and as if we use the strict language, we say live it up. Don't miss out on fatherhood. It's something that would come once in a lifetime, especially if you have one child or two children. Those young days you don't get back, and the time keep going. So embrace it, live it up. Be there for your children, support them, and your children would not forget those days.
I would say the child is a short-term investment, and I'm looking at some people who would have in excess of 8, 9 children. Yes, it would be hard for the first 13, 14 years. But when those children begin to come out of school and to begin to educate themselves, you would educate them. They come out of school and each one of them gone to their own form of earning. So, I want fathers to understand that if they can make that short-term investment for their children right now, the gains that they can make later on.
So I'm saying that father is not only limited to biological, father is also an advisor. Once you can give godly, sound, good advice, those persons ought to be respected as well.
Leave an inheritance not for your children and with your children, but leave something in them that they will be successful in life. Something that they can take, they can develop, something that they can use to make a living for themselves and be of great contribution to their family and their community and their country as a whole. Invest in your children, boy or girl. Have no limit to their education and how far you go to ensure they get the best education. You have to be a part of their education. You have to be a part of every stage of their upbringing. I believe it's time for those men who would have walked away from families, irrespective of the situation. The family need them. The children need them. Maybe the wife or the woman may act as if she doesn't need them, but I'm telling you, they need the fathers. It is best as a man to stay and face and to manage your family than to walk away from your family.
2, 3,